together as a team. So I'll formally say hello, everyone. And then what we are doing today then is this issue of dealing with improvement of curriculum knowledge and understanding. So knowledge is what is prescribed for us by is prescribed by our professions. And then we have understanding. Understanding is what we have experienced in life. Therefore, we have those two concepts together like that. Then in our journey, then I want us to reflect back to what we said about curriculum. And then what we said about curriculum is that we define it into two concepts where we have a curriculum as a plan for action, which is taken from a performance-based curriculum. Then we also have a curriculum as a plan of action, which is taken from competence-based curriculum. So you can see that these two forms of curriculum have been competing for quite some time. Therefore, it's safer to interrogate them and understand them very well so that when we practice our teaching, we practice according to what these are helping us to understand in terms of our situations. Therefore, with those words, then I would like to say we need to go back to our mind to think about what our mind process is doing. The mind consists of these three categories. Category one, we have the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is just the body system that control all the body functions. Remember, when you breathe, your heartbeat, your digestion, everything is controlled by the unconscious mind. So in other words, when we were born with this unconscious mind active. That's why we're able to cry, we're able to move, we're able to do all these body functions without any problem. But now, if you look at it, you can see now that with these body functions, we store whatever action that we have, any action that we include as part of our joy. We store that in the subconscious mind. So subconscious mind, we store everything that we experience from since conception up until we die. So it will store everything. So the smell, the movement, the sound, the pains, everything will be stored by this subconscious. So subconscious will give us everything. So, but the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind, those two cannot reason beyond what they are doing. So in other words, they cannot differentiate between what we imagine and what we really feel in our life. So for them to do that, you need the conscious mind. So you need to be conscious about it before it comes to understanding whether this is imaginal or this is real. So that's what we have. In other words, we have our beliefs, our feelings, our habits. They are all part of our subconscious mind. So we retrieve them if we need them. How do we retrieve them? We retrieve them through our conscious mind. So conscious mind is for us to reason. Conscious mind is good because it helps us to reason. We reason because of the conscious mind. And then when we reason like that, then that's where we start now to push the journey of improving and increasing our happiness, which is now using the tools of the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. Remember, the subconscious mind, we store everything. So now whatever we retrieve from the subconscious mind. If I have to drive from here to Edgewood, if I'm used to that, then what I'll do then, I will then remember and concentrate when I plan to go. But on the road, I may be speaking to my friends and reasoning, doing any other thing using my conscious mind, but the subconscious will be driving the car. I will drive well because I have enough relevant tools in the subconscious mind. That's how then this process will then unfold. So when you continue then to say, let's have some examples of performance curricula. Remember, in performance curriculum, one size fits all. If you give them, if the content here is that they will have to explain this football match, all of them should be able to do that. They should be able to explain what these players are doing. Now, when they explain what they are doing, when the student explain what they are doing, then it will mean they will be able to then respond to what you are doing on what you are saying in terms of your teaching. So what the teacher will do then will give them a support, a limited support, one block, and then start to say, tell them what this lesson is about. So when they are told then what the lesson is about, you can see that the short person there, the shortest one, can still not see well. He can only see maybe those who are far, but closer to him, he cannot see. So then the expectation is that then these people should get 100% when they are assessed. When the assessment is taking place, then they should all get 100%. Then the question will be, how possible is for this one who cannot see there? Because if this is the book that they are reading for this particular content, this one is not reading because it is like a person who does not have a book is listening to the teacher. Whereas the tallest one can see everything, all the corners of this. Therefore, this one size fits all for professionals, which promotes equality, has a challenge when it comes to those who are limited in terms of their experience. That's why then, that's what will explain the reason for this student, not all of them to pass, because the expectation is that all of them should pass. But you can see here that the shortest one may not make it, but others may make it. Then when you continue then to the next one to say, okay, what happened then here when we're driving our teaching using content? It surprised us that these students did not perform at the same level. Therefore, but for us, because we were equally giving them support, so promoting equality, using the content, the standardized content or prescribed content, like what we have in South Africa right now, where we have CAPS. CAPS is prescribing the content. Therefore, it's a performance curriculum which prescribes the content. So the main aim is to make sure that we promote equality. So those are professionals then who will give us the content to say, here is the content for this particular subject. We are professionals of this mathematics. Therefore, here is what grade 11 should do. Then you go according to that. Then when we move then to the next one, we will see there then that when we failed to produce equal performance, which was demanded by professionals, Then we started to say, no, let's use competence-based curriculum. Let's only concentrate on the outcomes. The content should be everyday content from their communities. What their communities have should be the one that give us what we are teaching. So the main aim of the teacher now is to make sure that they achieve the outcomes, learners achieve the outcomes. So we call that the process of that, it end up with the issue of equity. So the process is called equity. Equity is where you support them according to their needs. You can see here that the tallest guy here does not have any support. So he's coming naturally to watch soccer in order to make sure that he is able to explain what is happening in the soccer match there. And this one was given only one because he needed only one block to support. This one has two because it's the shortest. Therefore, you can see now the height is equal. So when they now explain this reading, what is happening inside the field there, they are supposed to have equal performance. But we still fail to produce the same performance, even if we apply competence-based curriculum. Remember, in South Africa, from 1998, we implemented Curriculum 2005, which was a competence-based curriculum, which was driven by outcomes-based approach. So we did not succeed in making sure that learners are able to produce equal performance or same performance, which will keep them which will make sure that they are happy. So we ended up in the situation where we were frustrated and started to challenge that Curriculum 2005. And then we brought in another curriculum called National Curriculum Statement, which was trying to bring in outcomes and the content. But that also seemed not to work well for us. And then we started to go back to CAPS then, which is performance curriculum. But here, the main aim here is that let them achieve the outcomes, give them activity, let them achieve the outcomes, let them watch this soccer, and then after that, they will be tested there. Whether they get 50 or 100 is not important, as long as they acquire the socialization skills. We need them to be able to socialize with their communities and address the needs of their communities. But the main question then will be to say, if we wanted this student of ours to address the professional needs through performance-based curriculum, and also we want them to address the social need or societal need through that competence-based curriculum, which is learner-centeredness. Others will say it's about learner-centeredness, and then performance, they will say it's about content-centeredness or teacher-centeredness. But when then we wanted them or we needed them to address their societal needs and also their professional needs, when are they going to address their own personal needs? That's where now we come with the issue of justice to say, their needs are also important. What about a curriculum that will help them to reflect in order to use their experience in increasing their happiness? Because if education, it's about helping learners or students to increase their happiness, when are they going to interrogate their own internal intelligence in order to make sure that if they have to be professional, they can be able to be professional. If they have to be social, they can be able to taking the social direction. So that's why now studies are moving towards to say, let's use pragmatic curriculum, because pragmatic curriculum is saying you deal with issues of justice, because when you look at the need of that particular individual, after looking at the need of that particular individual, you remove all the barriers in front of these people. Then you say, they must naturally watch the football without the barrier in front of them. So now all of them can stand on their two legs and watch the same football. So when we were giving this, the shortest one, enough support, which is 2 blocks, that may have promoted something on his subconscious mind about being owed by the world, so much that wherever he goes, he may end up demanding handouts. So when that is happening, then we may forget that we were giving him more than what others were getting. These people are the same, but we decided to give this one more than others because it's shorter than others. Now, when we do that, there's something that we are doing in terms of his subconscious mind. And again, if we also don't give support, there's something that we are doing in the mind of this person, of this the tallest one, because this tallest one, his confidence will increase and think that he's better than these two who cannot see inside there while he can see. Therefore, he may claim that he's always more important than others, because these others will be waiting for the handout in order to be equals to him. Therefore, is leading them. So there are some things that are happening inside the subconscious mind that we may not be aware of. So when we do these things, we should make sure that we give them the opportunity to reflect. So when you look at this situation, do you think this situation is good enough to promote students who will achieve same performance or equal performance? Because we've removed the barrier in front of them, and then we said we give them like that. So do you think justice has saved here? Linda Gushe, what do you say there? Do you think this is fair? Linda Gushe? Okay, anyone else who would like to tell us about this situation where we are saying we are dealing with issue of justice now? We want their personal experience to be taught, because they have this huge institution, which they call them their bodies, that were created by something that we don't know about it, but is personal to them. So do you think then when we remove the barrier and then we allow them to watch this football without any support, do you think that that will then help them to perform at the same level? John? Okay, anyone who would like to tell us something about this situation? Because we have tried the performance curriculum, we have tried competence-based curriculum. Now we are saying, now studies are starting to say, no, maybe there's something we are missing. We are missing the internal intelligence of these students. So now we must then allow them to reflect so that we can get that experience and work according to that experience. So do you think is enough to remove this, and then say that they will now perform at the same level?
No, sir. I think support will always be needed, even though you have removed some of the barriers in their, yeah.
Okay, so in other words, you are saying we still need to support these two to lift them up, although the barrier has been removed.
Yes, sir. Especially since we have talked about the unconscious.
Okay.
Until a person maybe is able to tap into the unconscious, then we cannot expect that the person can be able to overcome the
barrier.
The barriers.
So in other words, what you are saying then, Let, is that a barrier, it's not physically, but it's in the subconscious mind of individual. We need to tap in there in order to make sure that people are learning according to their potential. So I then agree with that. Then when then I deal with this issue, then I proposed this theory, which I proposed last year. You have seen the article with this, to say that maybe it's high time now that we start to say, yes, we know that we need to teach them professionally in order for them to change their behavior. How they change their behavior, we need to go through a process where we ask, what content will change the behavior? What learning management system? What behavior are we expecting? What assessment? All the what and what and what should be prescribed by a professional, and then we take them and see how those studies that prescribed the principles of performance-based curriculum under the wing of professional identity, we then start to interrogate them and practice them and use them and see if they are working for us. Because this side, whatever you claim exists should be proven. You should be able to prove that if you are saying cat exists, you should be able to prove to the world of your profession that yes, cat does exist. Maybe you bring the cat to the classroom, or you bring the cat, or you take your student to the cat, to where the cat is. And then we can start to say, yes, we have the cat in this world. But if you are telling us without evidence, there's an issue there that we may not approve that as professionals. So professionals will always need evidence, facts from research. So when we have these issues here, then when we have content here that we need to teach our students or our learners, it has to be researched first before it gets prescribed. Other than that, we may not allow it. So if you say in geography, this is what we should do, we'll need to see research or studies that were conducted to make sure that our mind need that kind of information as geography learners or students. That's what we need there as professionals. So in other words, professional, when you deal with professionals, say that in writing so that you give them evidence all the time. Without evidence, forget. Professionals are not going to listen to you. They are not going to respect you. But providing evidence, they will respect you 100%. Can we just, here's this example. Imagine you are allergic to meat, to red meat, but your doctor will say, you must eat meat because meat is healthy. But you know exactly that when you eat meat, you suffer. So because you are allergic to it. But if you were told by your doctor, definitely because you are afraid of the doctor's profession, you will eat meat. You will eat red meat. And go back to the doctors again to say, I have a stomach problem. Then they'll give you something like painkillers. Then you go back home. You eat it again, you have the same thing. You eat it. You see now, we respect our professions in such a way that when the professionals give us instruction, prescribe something for us, therefore we eat it without questioning it because we respect the profession. But when you move then to societary identity, which is generated by competence-based curriculum, here we are worried about the how part. How do we learn? How do we teach? How do we facilitate? How do we do this? So we talk about the how in order to achieve the outcomes. So here is how we construct the issue in our mind, using our subconscious. So subconscious will have certain tools or certain impressions that we will use to say, yes, the cat exists. We don't need evidence, but what we need is the opinion of the elders. So elders should tell us that the cat exists. Then our subconscious mind will believe that until we die, because we were given this by our elders. That's what we do when we deal with the issue of societary identity. So when you see people, you tell them exactly to say, this thing does not exist. They will simply say, no, but my grandfather said, we have cats, we have yellow cat, or you have green cat. So green cat exists. It's just that you have not seen them because they're told by their grandfathers. But this side, when you say there's green cat, they will want to see where is the green cat. Bring the green cat here so that they will have evidence of that green cat. So now, when there is a debate between the professionals and the societally driven people and that professional driven people, you can see it's a crisis. It's a disaster because they are not aware. As you can see when you talk about curriculum, when you say to people, which curriculum do you use? Is it learner-centeredness or teacher-centeredness? People from here, they will tell you exactly that, no, we want learner-centeredness because they were told that learner-centeredness is important. But when you ask them about principles of learner-centeredness, they can't tell you because they were told. They believe it, but without necessarily having a proof of that learner-centeredness working for them or working in terms of their experience. But because they were told, they don't want to be seen as if they are people who disrespect elders, because elders told them that learner-centeredness is the way to go. So that's why the world is talking the same language. But when you interrogate them and look for the evidence of that, you find that you get nothing because they are not practicing it. They were told to. They believe in it, but they don't practice it. Remember those teachers from Kaelisha in the book that we read, chapter 7, where they were saying, we are practicing learner-centeredness. But what they were doing is completely content-centeredness or teacher-centeredness. That's why then OBE or Curriculum 2005 had to be phased out because the interpretation of that competence-based curriculum, which is Curriculum 2005, was a problem for teachers. Therefore, then it has to be phased out. But now, when you start to say now, let's hang on then. We have tried then what professionals are telling us. We are eating meat, although we are allergic to it. Now we are suffering after eating meat. But here they will simply say, eating meat will help you to be a man. In this area, in order for you to gain a respect of being a man, you must eat meat. So you will eat meat even if you suffer. Why? Because you want to be given a status of being a man. When you are given a status of being a man, which means you then you will be happy because your confidence will increase. Now, the question will be, but is it worth it to eat something that make you suffer? That's something that is killing you slowly. Is it that really important in order to impress your society or to impress your doctor, which are professionals? So what is your take there? Is that important? That in my area, I have to eat meat because in the area, they believe that meat makes men. Therefore, I want to claim that status of being a man. And then on the other side here, doctors are saying meat is healthy. Therefore, we must eat it. But each time after eating meat, I suffer. I have some stomach cramps. So what then should I do? Should I go to the doctor's direction or the societary direction? What do you do then? What will you do if you were to be me in that position? I eat meat, I get stuff. I eat, but I was told by my doctor or I was told by my parents. So what should I do then as a person? Anyone who would like to tell us how did you solve your situation in the case where people were telling you to eat something that you don't eat or you don't like? How did you solve the problem?
I think then that is where personal identity kicked in, where you have to decide. Yes.
So you have to decide. How do you decide?
You decide what is working for you because the professional is not working for you, also the societal. Then you ask yourself, what is it that you want? You do what you understand about you now, that if you continue eating this meat, you get sick.
Okay, so what about then your community, your parents then? What if they just chase you at home, chase you away to say, you don't eat meat, you don't stay here? What will you do? Lusanda, what will you do? Now, your doctor told you to eat meat, but you get some stomach cramps after eating meat, and then your community there, in order to be known in the area, then you have to eat meat. So what then do you do? Or at home, you are at home. Yes, Fatima, what will you do?
Hi, Professor.
Yeah.
I think I agree what the previous speaker said.
Yeah.
That you do what works for you, because I feel like this could be I don't know. I feel like this example that you just gave us,
yeah,
it appears in our lives in different contexts.
Exactly. Yes.
So I come from the Indian community, and they are set. Obviously, it's not written anywhere, but they are set like rules that are part of the community, and if you go against them, then you considered
As an outcast.
Like, yeah, and like someone who's not doing what they're supposed to do, and then they look down on you and they say things about you and stuff like that. And as a person, I've made my own choice of doing that which I want to do, regardless if it puts me out of my society, because there are some societal norms that are unhealthy and that need to be broken. And I consider myself that person who's going to break the bad cycles, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with what the previous speaker said, that you do which is best for you. And even though I must mention to you that I'm getting a lot of slack for it in all different aspects and from different people, whether it's the community or family or whatever, even religious norms, for example. It's hard, but you take it and then you do what is best for you.
Yes. Yeah, that's what normally happens in life. You see, if you want to take your real journey in this life, remember all what they give you, what the doctors give you is their impression about life. So when they say meat is healthy, the first question that we need to ask is healthy to who? Because there are those who will feel their body, they will feel that meat is healthy. But there are those who will feel that after eating meat, they suffer. Therefore, it's not healthy for those. At the same time, our communities or our families may have something that they treat as a culture or as a rule for the family. But if you find that rule make you suffer, because you are in this world to increase your happiness. So when other people realize that you are suffering when you eat meat, they will understand if you are brave enough to show them, to indicate to them that there is the situation, and then you follow your own direction. So that may also transform your family and your community. Even the doctors may transform to say, oh, okay, there are unique cases that are coming like this. I've seen that from my experience. I've been in those situations where someone has to transform his family, someone has to transform his school, someone has to transform his community, because his experience is much more important than taking a generalized rule from professionals or a generalized rule from local community. We need to now be strong enough now to say, we are curriculum specialists. Let us now create our own curriculum according to our philosophy. Our philosophy is our own internal intelligence. But we need to ask the first question first. Who are we? Who are our learners? Who are our teachers? Who are etc., etc. So that when we decide not to eat meat, we are brave enough to face the challenge of being isolated because your community is eating meat and your professionals are eating meat. But in your case, you have a unique situation where you suffer because you are allergic to the meat. Because we are all unique. Even if we are twins, look at your fingerprints and you look at your twin's brother or twin sister, you will find that your fingerprints are not the same, as an indication that we have a unique situation. So when then we talk about the case of soccer, which is in the previous slide there, we talk about case of soccer. Maybe the first start here is to say why soccer if we are teaching our learners about sport, why soccer then? Because there are those who will excel when we give them rugby. There are those who will excel when we give them ballroom dance. There are those who will excel when you give them cricket. Then why can't we bring in that field, we bring all sports who are of the interest of these participants or students? Because we first give them opportunity to reflect, to give us their philosophy of what this sport is about. Then they'll start to give us to say, no, I like rugby, I like ballroom dance, I like cricket, I like this. Then you start to say, okay, now in this field, we have all those sports. You must go out there and learn so that you will be happy ever after, because it's in line with your sport. So when we simply say we remove the barriers, but we still give them football without giving them other sports, we are still discouraging them, because we need to ask ourselves, who are we giving soccer, the football? Who are we giving this kind of activity? Is because you may find that is someone who is not interested in football. Therefore, it's obvious that the person will fail. He's not failing because he cannot read what is in front of him as a soccer match, but it's because internal intelligence of this individual does not see a value in soccer, but the value will only come if you bring rugby, or you bring cricket, or you bring whatever other sport that you may bring. So we are losing this now, this position here of helping our students to make sure that all of them are performing at the same level when we assess them, because they are unique. They have internal intelligence which is unique to each one of them. So the subconscious mind has those tools that one is using in responding to what we give them. So as a result, then studies now are starting to say, let us move now to say, we give them an opportunity to reflect. So we give our students an opportunity to reflect. When they reflect on their experiences, we ask them to critique those experiences. In terms of our education, we heavily rely on the learning management system. But when you consider what has been happening, introducing competence-based curriculum, we started now to bring social media sites as well. But now, when we ask them to reflect, we need to give them a range of things to say, learning management system or social media site, whatever will help you to explain what this thing is about. We will then be happy to have that. So when we have that, then we are only addressing the whose need are we dealing with here? We are dealing with Tomu's need. We are now dealing with Lindiwe's need. We are dealing with, so there are different needs that we have because we have our own internal intelligence. Because for example, if you say, this is my hand, you point it to say, this is my hand. Then if you say, this is my hand, who are you then? If this is not you, but it's your hand. You see, someone is owning this body. This is my body. Because someone is owning it. That is the person whom we need to deal with. That's the person whom we need to teach or to educate, so that this person will reflect according to what the needs are. Because remember, when we were born, for example, we were able to breathe, move, do all these other things up until we were confused by our societies and our professional. Then they all confused us. That's why now, if we are allergic to meat, we have to eat to impress the professionals. At the same time, we have to eat to impress our societies. Yet we are dying slowly, because each time you eat meat, and then the meat is damaging your stomach, your DNA is being affected. So now it's going down. Instead of increasing your happiness, it's decreasing your happiness. Up until you become brave and confront the situation to say that this is what I've been doing. So with this kind of module then that we are doing, that's what I'm trying to do, to say, you know what professionals are doing, you know what societies are doing, then what are you doing then? Or it looks like there's a hand there. You can go ahead, Nantando. I think it's Nantando, but someone who had the hand up. Oh, it looked like it disappeared. Oh, she will come back then. When she comes back, then maybe we'll hear from her. But for now, let's continue. Unless there's another one whose hand is up. Mabile, want to say something?
My hand is up.
No, I can see your mic is on. I thought that maybe you wanted to comment. Okay, if not, then Nantando, it's all right. So we are then saying here, oh, Nantando is back now, eh? Nantando, go ahead, Nantando.
Sorry, Dr. Koz, there was a mistake. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no, it's all right. It's okay. Okay, so what is happening then is that we keep on saying, this is my body, this is my hand. Even if you ask learners at your school, they will tell you, when you ask to say, what is this? They'll say, no, that's my arm, there's my leg, there's my, which means that that's a signal that inside them, there's this internal intelligence that we need to tap in order for them to learn and increase their happiness. If we can't tap to that, it's not easy for them to master what they are doing the way they should be mastering. So in terms of this module, then this curriculum module, I've given you the opportunity to ask this question, to say, who are we? And then by so doing, you go back to what you were professionally taught by universities or institutions. And at the same time, you have to go back to what you were practicing when you were doing teaching practice, or you were formally teaching at your school. So when you have that, I want us then to bring that to say, which of the two was dominating your own identity, so that you interrogate it. You will then, because we have experienced it, therefore you need to interrogate it so that you reflect the really you. So after then that we have reflected on it, you have written your teaching philosophy, you have written your major assignment 1. The next move now is to push you more to say, thank you for interrogating your past experience together with your present experience. Now, tell us now, give us your imagination about yourself again, because your imagination before you interrogate your experiences by writing these 2 activities was different. Now you have this new you. We want this new you then to write the next assignment, to say, You reflect on this now, and then you start to say, now, when I teach next time, this is what I will do because I reflected on it here. Now I reflect and I critique it so that I will be in line with the so-called fourth industrial revolution or the fifth industrial revolution, which is driven by technology. When you do that, you are answering the why question. So in other words, if someone say, jump Lindiwe, the first question that you need to ask is why? Why should I jump? So that then this person will tell you, when you say jump, you may say, he may say to you, because the doctor said you must jump 3 times a day in order to be fit. Or then he may say, your doctor, your community said in order to respect you, you must jump 5 times a day. You see, now you need to take a decision now to say, what about my needs then? If I'm addressing what the community needs by jumping 5 times, and then I also address what professionals need by jumping 10 times, what about what I feel then? Because when I jump, each time when I jump, I break my leg. So does this mean my leg is not important here? Because these professionals should now allow me to reflect first, to say, what happened to me? What is my experience of jumping? My experience of jumping is that I am walking with 1 leg because I was jumping. I am now on the wheelchair because I was jumping. But if they say just jump, you see, you have a situation where you have to find your journey, find your identity, and then when you plan your future according to your needs. What you draw from your society and what you draw from your profession should not affect your DNA. It should be in line with your DNA. It should be in line with your internal intelligence. Because in this world, we are competing. Whether we like it or not, we are competing. Those who decide to take a position of being professionals, they take it because they know that that gave them a strength of conquering the world. Those who have taken the societary position there, they've used that because they've seen that they became leaders because they've managed to convince their society, their communities, in order to respect them and vote for them, and then they take their leadership without even noticing what they need, but they would like to give them a go ahead. So when that is happening now, my request to you then is that you have gone through a journey. You are halfway your journey now. You have given us your philosophy, and then you went through to your assignment 1, where you took your philosophy and started to interrogate what you have been doing. Now at least you have a pretty good idea of who you are as a professional teacher. Whether you are too professional or whether you are too social, you know at least you have some symptoms of those two. Take those symptoms now to say, okay, let me go deeper now, because symptoms are signals of something big, a signal of something that you need to address. You are now going to write your assignment 2, which will be now, you will write a course to plan for your futures. Show us, what do you think you will do from now on? That is now the re-reflection, re-critique. So your next assignment will be challenging you to say, now let's talk about the future. You know now your identity. You have critiqued what you have been doing, and then you have altered it now. So now that you have altered it, give us a plan, a new plan now with this identity of yours, without taking a lesson plan that was designed by your school. Someone at your school designed it, that you are taking it without questioning it. Yes, in societal identity, we don't question things because we respect the elders. This side, we don't question what professionals have prescribed for us because we respect those professionals. But now, here is the challenge. We have come across a situation where we are suffering, where our happiness is not increasing because we are victims of our professions, or we are victims of our societies. Now let's go back to basics now to say, okay, what have we experienced? When we were born, we were able to move, we were able to kick, we were able to cry, we were able to laugh. With that freedom, where did we lose it? Where did we lose this freedom? Let's go back now and bring it up, because that's the moment when we were happy. When we want to cry, we had to cry. When we want to laugh, we had to laugh. But when we started to grow, we left that body, we graduated to another body when we were 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Are we increasing the happiness, or are we decreasing the happiness? If you were happy at the age of 10 years, are you still happy today? If you are not happy, there's something wrong then with your journey. You need to go back now to reflect, to say, where did I lose the happiness I had when I was a few seconds born, when we were born? Where did we lose that? We need to go back. So this assignment now is taking you back to say, go back to where you were trained, given this performance-based curriculum, to say this is what you should be doing. And then when you go to society, go to school, then you discover that there are issues that are now contradicting what the university gave us. Now, what must I do? That's what must I do that we need to see it here, because you will be now imaging these two worlds to produce a new personal identity, which will help us to now to reflect and help our students to reflect. And then you give us what is new then. Natural identity now. We want what we're naturally born with or created with. We need to see it now. Design the new course using it. But you can see here that whatever is in front of us changed us. It moved us. It moved our identities. It altered with our subconscious. So the tools that we have in our subconscious are sometimes altered by what is in front of us. So now, from now on, what is in front of you should not necessarily change you unless we have experienced the change that need to take place. But it should not change because my grandmother or my grandfather died without owning a car. Then you start to say, no, in this home, even our grandfathers did not own a car. Therefore, no, we don't buy a car. Or, but if you buy it, then professionals will tell you that, no, if you buy a car, don't buy a car which is less than 500,000. Then you start to say, because for me, I'm just an ordinary teacher, I can't afford that car, which means let me not buy a car anyway, because I will only buy a car when I have 500,000. So you see there is a missing link there about your journey, because your journey should be about what you are experiencing. If you come across a car that worth, which will be maybe 10,000, then you see the need that, you know what, I have a challenge. I can't go to school because the taxes here are giving me some trouble. And I have 20,000, buy the car and then have your joy after that. So, but to say that because the doctor said I must eat meat because the meat is healthy, or community said in order to be seen as a man, I must eat meat while you are allergic to it. Don't kill yourself like that. It's time for you now to say, I take my stand, because anyway, all of you now are above 23 years. So even if, or above 18 years, so which means we are all adult. Therefore, I'm expecting each one of you now claim your natural identity, what you were born with. I want to see that strength, not the strength that we're told by other people that you have. So in other words, your people, when they give you there's a certain image about you, but you have another image, because that is the case. You have another one, they give you another image. Therefore, don't allow people to give you your identity, but generate it. So that's what is happening here. But whatever come across you, you make sure that you look at the bigger picture of it and the smaller picture of it. And then you decide to say, what worked for me today, I will continue with it. So that's what I would like to give it to you. So any questions so far about finding your identity? Are you finding your identity well, or you need something to trigger it still? How is your journey so far? Are you able to understand who you are in terms of being a professional teacher? Normally, how do you find the journey so far? Zandile, how do you find the journey so far of finding your identity?
Prof, I think I'm in between of being professional and being societal, because I still have this belief that as a teacher, I should always be professional. And I also have this belief that I should give my learners a platform to construct their knowledge. So I think I'm just in between the two.
Yes.
Yes.
I think you, Zandile, that's exactly what this module is about. To be in between the two. You stand here, you look at this playing there, then you just jump like an eagle. You pick up the strength of this that is required by you for that particular activity. If again you need another one from this side to jump and grab it, but you should be able to reflect in order to understand what exactly your needs are. What are your needs? And then you go according to those needs. Yes,
Okay.
that's what the aim of this module is about. Let me show you guys this thing quickly, and then tell me what you see here. I just want to just give you something so that you see the world, bigger picture, smaller picture. What do you see here? Is it the face or verse?
Verse.
You see the vase. Okay.
Both.
Faces.
The vase
Both.
and the faces. Or
I
someone,
see both.
someone can
Yes.
see the faces. Where are the
Both.
faces? Where are they?
Left and right
Faces.
of the vase.
Yes,
The,
there's a
yeah,
face
left
here.
and right. The black faces.
There's a face there, another face there. Are these women or men?
There's a man and a woman.
Or it's a man and a woman?
Yes.
That's exactly
They
what
look
you
like men.
that's exactly what you need to see when you see anything in this world. Look at it from the bigger picture and the smaller picture. So those who have interest, who enjoy using verse, will only see the verse. But those who enjoy to be with people will only see people, they may not see the verse. But in this world, try to think deeper and reflect deeper when you see anything, so that you make sure that what you see is what is reflecting really. Because other people will tell you a story about the verse. Then you start to say, no, but I did not see the verse, because you only look at it from a face value, but you need to go deeper than that and look at it from different angles. Then you will be able to conquer this world of the world of joy. So you will be joy, because you can see. So no one will come and intimidate you with faces, because you have seen faces. You can say, no, I've seen faces like this and this. That's an old story for me. Don't even tell me. And when the other one is coming with the verse to say, I saw the verse. No, I know the story. You see, so none of them will claim power over you, because you have seen both. That's what Zandile indicated, that see both. And I'm sure with your writing, I've seen almost all of you have combined some issues of competence-based and some issues of performance-based curriculum in a nice way, which means you are moving towards to say, you look at the bigger picture as much as you look at the smaller picture. What about this one then? What do you see in this one? Here? What do we see here? What do you see?
Faces.
What do you see here?
I see people on the faces, and then I see a grandmother and a grandfather.
Oh, so the bigger picture, these are two senior citizens, the grandmother and grandfather. But if you look carefully and
I
then
see
closer,
two tunnels.
you can see
I see
what?
two tunnels there. There's a building.
There's a building, yeah.
There's
Or
tunnel or a building.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is there, where this lady is coming from. And the tower there.
Yes. And the two women, one with a guitar and the one with a hand
this
on the
one.
face.
This one.
Yeah.
And this one.
Yes. There's one with a guitar too.
Okay.
There's also a great grandfather or grandmother.
Yeah. So in terms of bigger picture, you can see that there's this grandmother and then there's this grandfather. But when you look closer to say, let's look at the smaller picture now, you can see, oh, there's a grandmother there carrying something there. And there's a grandfather playing guitar there. And there's a lady coming from that door there. Yes. And there's someone on the tower there. You see someone on the tower as well. Okay. What about the verse now? Do you still see the verse?
There.
The verse is still there. For those who may say,
yeah, there, yeah.
the verse is still there. Yes. Okay. Any other thing that others may see there? Okay, let's go to the next one. And here, what you see then here? Abdul Ahid, the old man. What do you see here?
Some people are sleeping there. Some people are sleeping. I can see someone.
Yes,
sleeping.
smaller pictures. There's one there, there's another one there, there's another one there. So if you write a story about this bigger picture only, you may miss these details, you see. So when you listen to the story or look at whatever is in front of you, look for the details. There are the details there. Someone is there. And then someone, etc. There are quite a number of people that you can identify under the shelter. Eh? But if you are used to bigger picture only, all what you'll see there Abdul Ahid, an old man with that's the head of the old man, then done. You see how limited is that then? When you describe life about the bigger picture only, then you'll be limited. So look at both sides. Look at the performance side, the competence-based side, then your life will be much better. What about this one then? What you see there? Is this an old man drinking beer? I can only see an old man drinking beer. What do you see there?
There are people.
You see? What do you see?
There are three people.
Three
There
people.
are two people by
That's me.
there are people by the eyes and one by the nose of the cross.
Yes, so which means you may, if you're interested in details, you may say, this is a jacuzzi, and then these are ladies who are swimming in the jacuzzi. The one is sitting on the rocks, the other two are at this side and that side. So you may say 3 ladies swimming in the jacuzzi. Those are the details of this. But if you want to look at the bigger picture, the surface part of it, you will simply say, this is an old man drinking beer, done. So now, when you tell people, then you are trying now to claim your direction. So you have to present something to them. Then you said, I've seen an old man drinking beer, blah, blah, blah. People will say, what are you talking about? Those who are looking for the details. You see now, you can even cry to say, I saw the old man, I saw him. But no, they did not see the old man because it was just your impression about that picture there. There was no old man, maybe according to them. They only had ladies there by the jacuzzi. Therefore, it's important to go for details in anything. But what about here then? What do you see then here? Let's tell a story about this. Story about this one. What do you see?
It looks like a woman who is carrying a child and a grandfather, and there's it's like a tunnel. The bigger picture, it's an old man's face.
Okay, so bigger picture is old man's face, but smaller pictures, then you can have a lady there carrying a baby and the old man there, and then a dog is there. What else do we see here? What about the face here? You see the lady there facing the other side? And here is another one facing the other side, and the other one facing on the right-hand side, and the other one facing us. Do you see these smaller ones? These smaller faces. Check if you can see the smaller faces. Anyone who can see the smaller faces?
Yes, we can see.
You see them? Yeah. I was thinking that you were all going to jump.
Yes, I can see, Professor.
Yes, I was thinking that you were all going to jump to the smaller one before you see the grandfather, which is the bigger picture. Because after the training that you have gone through, I'm sure your subconscious mind now is looking for details more than looking at the bigger picture. But let's see if that is the case. What do you see here then? What do you see here? Anyone who sees something?
People,
Is there?
looks like two people hacking.
Or people hacking there, up there?
I
all
see
right?
people there. Are they kissing each other or what?
It looks like they are kissing, eh? All right.
Hacking.
What else do you see?
I see a leg too. There is a
Oh,
leg
the
there.
leg
uh,
there,
leg.
the high
and the
heel or
leg,
what?
and the
What is
shoes,
that?
and the shoes there.
Is that a leg or what?
It looks like this is a leg,
Looks like a leg.
and then this one is a shoe, a lady shoe, and a lady shoe, and another leg there. But if you treat this as a flower, because you can say these are the legs as well, eh? From the couple. But now,
Yeah.
if you are saying, no, I can only see a flower there, which means these will change to flower leaves. Eh? It's not going to be people. So it depends how then you tell the story, your impression, what your subconscious mind has is what you will see here. And this one?
The baby.
Is a baby there sleeping. There's the back of the baby, the face, the eyes, the face. But others will say, no, I can only see a couple washing
A
the pool
couple
there.
by the river. Yeah.
Hey, that's what others will say. So now when you justify your case, then
The
you
baby.
say you have seen the baby as a bigger picture, you make sure you are able to justify that. And if you say you promote the couple by the river, then you must be able to justify that. What about this one?
It's a bunch of old men.
Is there?
Bunch of
Oh, old men, they're full like 20.
Oh,
One,
this
two,
is
three,
this
four,
is so
five.
in other words, it's not a tree, but these are people, eh?
Yes.
How many people are
People's
here around?
faces.
1,
One,
2, 3, 4, 5,
There are
6,
10 in
7,
total.
8, 9, 10,
Yeah, there are
11.
10.
Close to 10 or 11.
Exactly, they
Stephen,
should be 10.
there's
But
that
others,
one, the very
others will
ugly
say,
one on top of that one.
yeah, yeah. But others will say, no, I can see a mouse in there as well. You see, you can justify as you go, but details are important, that you must see those details. Okay, what about then this one? What about this one? What is this?
That's a frog.
Is this a frog? Is this a frog?
Yes.
Are you
That's
sure
a
it's a
frog.
Looks like a frog.
Oh, it looks like is it a donkey or what?
It's a horse.
It's a horse.
Oh,
Yes.
horse.
Look at it carefully.
That's if you flip it.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
horse.
Yeah, give yourself a time to interrogate whatever is presented in front of you. Don't jump when you still see the bigger picture only. Wait for it so that you can get details and start to say, aha, this is a horse, while others said is a frog. That's how life is about. Life is about waiting for the right moment to see details, jump to it. But if you jump to it at the face value, when you see a bigger picture and jump to it, in most cases, you find that you made some mistakes that will then decrease your happiness. Because the moment you find that, no, hey, I made a mistake there, this thing was supposed to be something else, and then only to find that you have already concluded and then submitted all those things to those people whom you are submitting to, then you suffer after, now starting to blame yourself. But the moment of waiting is important. What about this one?
Aibo. Labantu.
People dancing or what?
What is
Are
that?
they dancing?
What is
They
that?
are not
Dancing
dancing,
one.
people. These
Dancing
people are not dancing.
What do you
Not
see there?
dancing.
I
I don't see people there.
I see a bottle, say. I see nothing else.
Yeah, yes, you are right
That's
there.
just a bottle.
This is the white space and that dolphin inside. These are dolphins inside the space. These are dolphins inside
I
the
see
space.
a bottle, nothing else.
There are dolphins. You don't see the dolphins inside the space like
No.
this.
No.
They
I
are
know
moving
dolphins
inside the
are
space.
diving.
The fishes, yes, they are
Dolphins.
fishes inside the space. The other one is moving this direction.
They're not
The other one
dolphins
is
here.
going down, and the other one is going up, and the other one is swinging like that. You see, you know how dolphins can play? They play inside the white space.
What?
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
playing inside the
Dolphins.
white space. These are
Okay.
dolphins
Who?
inside.
Dolphins?
Yes, dolphins.
Mina ngibona abantu.
I am
No,
gonna
no, no.
get this
Akoma
time.
It's
dolphin
your
line.
it's your
Akoma
impression.
dolphin line.
You know what's happening here? Your subconscious mind now is playing you because we play around with people. We created people in all the previous pictures. Now, when you come to this one,
They
your
are not
subconscious
dolphins
mind is
here.
programmed already
Amabele nje nawo.
to create people. No, it's not. Here is the first one. Look at this fish. The tail is here, and is moving like this.
So say I'm wrong if I'm saying I see a
Oh,
woman
I
and a
see
man.
the dolphin now.
No, they are not. They are not.
I now
These
see
are
them.
these are fishes
Oh,
inside
I can now
there.
see two dolphins. But at first it
I
looks
can see the dolphin.
like
Yes.
two people.
But then bakhona nabantu.
What are these
Yes,
fishes
yes.
doing, guys?
No, look. Look closely. Look closely and see so that you adjust what your subconscious mind is giving you now. After we have seen people. So now what your subconscious mind is doing is giving you people even where there are no people.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yes,
the
that
mind is
okay.
playing you now. That's what is happening in this world. When people feed us with issues, we become those people. And then when we see something
1,
new,
2,
we
3,
can't see
4,
there's
5
something new.
dolphins. 7 dolphins.
Exactly. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
4,
6,
5,
7,
6.
8. There's
8,
another one
8.
there going that side. You
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
small one is trying to move out of the space.
Yeah.
And this small one as well. You see the small one there.
Forget
between
about the
two
pictures with
giants.
all
Yes,
dolphins.
between the two giants, yes. That's what is
Yes.
happening. So you see now how the subconscious mind was reclaimed by our societies and our professionals. They took advantage of the subconscious mind because when you train the subconscious mind, it will believe that because the subconscious mind does not reason. So you need the conscious mind now to say, let me reason. But I can see this is the fish, this is the dolphin. Okay, and this is that. Therefore, the issue of having people around here is imaginary. That's how then we treat the world. Therefore, with this new identity now, I am trying to say, remove people that are taking care of things in your subconscious mind that were developed without your permission. Because there are quite a number of things. For example, when we go to the next, when we go to our next assignment, I'm not expecting us to bring a template that was designed by another person. It is not in line with our teaching philosophy. It has to be in line with our teaching philosophy. So
I'm sorry,
much.
say, what are we actually doing, Prof?
Okay, no, we'll discuss it now, but first, before we go to it, let's start with
Okay.
let's start with what we call, oh, let me stop the record.